I'm picking my lemons because I want them to keep producing even in the winter. Today we're going to do an initial pruning because we prune and pick lemons at 2 different times. During the year, we'll do a treatment for a problem we'll have in a few months, that is aphids. We treat them now so that we don't have problems in the future. We will fertilize, and last but not least, we will prepare our citrus trees, as in this case for the winter, so we will cover them. Be careful, because everything I'm going to show you and tell you can't be found on artificial intelligence or various tips on the internet, because they come from experience and above all from results. Look here, I still have some to harvest, so get ready. And let's start right from the beginning. See, that's why I'm telling you, you can see it's trying to grow new fruits and put out new flowers. This is exactly the moment right now if we wanted to produce more fruit to protect them. Hey there, farmers, I hope you're all doing well. Here we have our citrus trees because it's not just lemons. We're going to do some pruning, fertilizing, and most importantly, we're going to cover them for the entire winter season. In fact, I bet that if you have a citrus plant, especially in central or northern Italy, the same thing happens to you. Are you able to get it to produce lemons, citrus fruits, like in this case? I've already picked some. You see, the fruits are ready. It's starting to bloom. December is coming. The first frost hits. All the leaves fall off, and then it takes you a year and a half to get them producing again. Is this because you're not fertilizing them, not pruning them, and not covering them the right way? Let's start with pruning and go through each step. So let's start with pruning. The first thing we do is remove all the dead branches, like this one here. We follow it back. See, this branch is completely dry, so we follow it back. We go all the way to this part. You see that this whole branch has dried up. Let me show you better by getting closer. See, this branch is all... No, it's not dry. Because you see, if we scratch it just a little, you can see it's still green, so we'll cut it in a way that lets us see what's still green. Now let's get the pruning shears. Anyway, this part here, even though it's green, has this whole branch that's dry, so we're basically going to remove it. We'll leave it for now. With the pruning shears, we'll see exactly where it's dry and where it's not. Once we've done this, let's try to give our plant as much structure as possible, according to the shape we've chosen. In our case, then we'll remove this branch. This one here is a sucker. You see, we can tell because it's very, very vigorous, you see. And above all, it comes out from the structure we're giving it. That is, the trellis has pressed it down. So we go take it and cut it, like in this case. Pruning the lemon tree, especially in a vase shape, is really minimal. In truth, it's more of a containment pruning. We remove, as I told you, all the dry parts. We try to give it a structure and help our plant maintain its canopy. This is because it's pointless for the plant to grow to infinite heights, which might later cause us management problems. But let's try to make sure our plant can make good use of all the space. For example, by removing this one, we'll take it out completely. We'll make 2 cuts. Why was it tied? As you can see, this part is covered and this part isn't, so what should we do? Let's let a few buds grow back here from the base so that we can cover this part. With the leftover branches, like this one, we bend them so that you see where they grow. I go to fill this part here. So the pruning we'll do will mostly be pruning. Of the upper parts, it will be a bit more for containment. I prune them in 2 stages. I prune them in the winter period. I slightly touch them up, as I just told you, like in this case. And then I do a slightly more complex and severe pruning in the spring. This is because winter pruning is still at least a little corrective. As I mentioned, I focus on the canopy, avoid too many gaps, and keep my lemon tree healthy. However, if our plant gets burned or anything happens to it in the winter, because it can happen, I want to have more buds, as many chances as possible to reshape the plant the way I want. So in my case, in this situation, I don't touch it. Let's take a look instead at this clump, which isn't a mandarin, it should be an orange. I say should be because I had thrown this plant in the dumpster and well, I managed to recover it. Let's first go and cut all these branches here. You see they're all thorny. This is the wild part of our citrus plant. Let's remove all the branches that are before the graft that was done. Let's remove all the branches. Upright suckers. So, just to be clear, all those vigorous green branches that point upwards, because we want to maintain a canopy. The canopy helps us both with treatments and also for aesthetic reasons. In addition, it also helps us to evenly maintain both air and light so that all the flowers can actually go into production. In this case, except for 2 prunings here like this, I wouldn't touch anything else. As you can see, we don't touch it too much also because I have a lot of small fruits and still a few flowers. That's why now we have to do a very important operation. In fact, we're going to fertilize it with classic granular fertilizer, we're going to bury it, and we're going to do it right now at this moment of the season. So before putting them away. A treatment against aphids, let me explain better. The lemons around April will be attacked. In March or April, they will definitely be attacked by aphids. This will significantly limit all the flowering and therefore the creation of fruits. Aphids don't fly. They're already present, probably already as eggs, on the tops of our plants. They're just waiting for the right moment, so with the warmth to hatch and then cause their damage before we can remove them. It's always problematic, so what should I do? Sprayer water and Alba Garden white oil. This treatment is being done right now by professionals, especially for those with many citrus trees. It helps protect against aphid attacks because it eliminates them now while they're just starting out, so they won't survive the winter because we're removing them. We use this treatment on roses, on all fruit plants, basically on any plant that suffers from aphids. I want to stress that aphids don't fly, so if we do this right now, we catch them off guard. As the saying goes, it's always better to prevent than to cure. Let's spray both the upper and lower sides of our plant very well. I repeat, when we do this, we do it not only on lemons, but also on roses and really on all plants, both front and back. If you have it against a wall, try to spray it as much as possible. Now, as you can see, the sun on my face is going down. That's exactly the problem here. At this time, when the sun is out, it's warm, but when the sun goes away, because there's a cloud in front, it starts to get a bit chilly. That's exactly why we need to go cover our citrus trees. Keep this in mind from personal experience. If citrus trees are at about 12, 13, or 14 degrees Celsius, so we're in a closed veranda or in a storage room, but with plenty of light, remember. So it needs to have windows. See, now the sun comes back, it's warm, the citrus trees start producing, and they keep producing all winter long. This is the solution to have them continuously in production. If you have to leave them outside, you need to use TNT. It depends on where you are. If you're in northern Italy, I recommend using a double layer of TNT fabric. So let's go put it on top of them. The important part, pay close attention, is not so much the bottom. If drafts get through, it's not a problem. The most important part is to cover the top. Because especially when it rains or in the morning, all the frost we have can freeze. And that's exactly what causes all the problems for the new shoots. In this case, we close it. If you want, the most convenient thing, if you have it at home, is a stapler. You give it 4 staples and you don't touch this plant anymore, so you don't open it again until at least March. The temperatures need to be at least 7 or 8 degrees, not below 7. It's dangerous. That's because it's hard to go and plan the timing properly. So if I tell you 7 degrees, the temperature drops to 4 degrees and our plants get ruined. So more or less when it's 7 or 10 degrees, it means we have a buffer of a few degrees to manage it. Still, we get them and close them. And you understood well because I also showed you a more specific pruning. Now I showed you how to close it and I gave you 2-3 recommendations. I'm going to remove the cover now. That's why I don't secure it, because I'm going to take them to the warehouse. In my opinion, it never goes below 8-9 degrees, maybe even 10. It's the best solution because I keep harvesting my lemons all year round. See, we're already going to pick the ones that are ready, and they have an amazing fragrance. By doing this, you're all set. Another special trick. Let's put either wood chips or straw on the soil in our pot. Generally, these pots require the lemon roots to stay fairly airy, and that's where our lemons can actually suffer from cold feet. Remember that the warm pot, if it were planted in the ground, is never the atmosphere, but the earth, the soil. So the warmer it is, the better it does. In short, my grandmother always used to say, if your feet are warm, your whole body is warm. So, grandma's sayings, you don't question them. So these are my tricks. Now, of course, we'll get there. Then in February, March, we'll remove our covers. We'll do another round of fertilizing, and we'll check all our buds again. They're fine, they're not fine. We'll do another round of pruning, so at a better time. So we split up the pruning. For the reason I told you, even in that case, we'll check for the presence of aphids, and we'll do another treatment there as well. Always with white oil. Remember, this is the correct way to manage your citrus trees. I'll leave everything for you below in the description. We've seen 2 possibilities. In case you have a balcony and can't bring it inside, I showed you what to do, and also what to do if you can keep it in a veranda or indoors. Your lemons will produce even better. Make sure to keep them in an indoor place. There must be plenty of light. There needs to be a good amount of light. It's better to have a plant outside in an enclosed space like this, but exposed to light, than to have a plant indoors. But without light, so with higher temperatures and no light, if you store them indoors, of course, remember to water them. If the temperatures are higher, they might need water. Farmer, I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyed it. Products are listed in the description. See you next time. Bye.